Hey there, seventh graders. Today you are going to practice some application problems. We have now learned how to multiply, how to divide, and now we put it together and figure out, when do I multiply? When do I divide? What kind of situations do I do that for? How do I set up the problem and how do I solve it? So everybody right now needs a blank lined piece of paper. Get your lined piece of paper and we are going to start folding it. So fold it in half this direction first. And honestly, it doesn't really matter which direction, as long as every time you fold, you just fold in the opposite direction, then you'll get where we're going, okay? So now we fold again this way. So now we are to this size, and then we fold again this way. And you should have boxes this size. Okay, grab a pen, grab a pencil. We're going to, whatever you prefer to use here, we're going to unfold it and we are going to number the boxes. Okay, you can see here I have my boxes numbered. I need every single one of these boxes. So I have 1 through 8 on the front, and you can totally just pause the video if you need to fill those out. 1 through 8 on the front, and then 9 through 16 on the back. Again, pause me for a second if you need to get those numbered. Okay. You can also number them as you go, but I like to have them numbered, especially since, you know, Miss McGowan's going to go over a couple of them with me, so I won't quite do these in order. One more thing we're going to do now that you've got them numbered is come up next to box number 1. We're going to write multiplying and dividing, those symbols there, applications. So we know the title of this. Okay, and the trickiest part on these problems is really just deciding what you should do. So the tip I want to give you right now is I want you to kind of think through when you read a problem. For example, problem number 1 says, Janet can read 2 1/4 pages of a book in 1 minute. If she reads 90 pages, how many minutes did she read? So when I read these problems, I like to think about if I need the total or if I know the total. And some students sometimes think of it like, do I have the biggest answer or do I need the biggest answer? Be careful of that, because there's lots of fractions and decimals involved, so big and small gets a little confusing here. I'm going to read that one more time. Janet can read 2 1/4 pages of a book in 1 minute. Couldn't they have also said per minute? That's how much she can read per minute. If she reads 90 pages, how many minutes did she read? So the very first thing I want you to write in each of these boxes before you even set anything up is I just want you to process in your mind whether you think you should multiply or divide. So in this problem, we already know the total pages she read, and we're trying to figure out how many minutes. So I'm going to write, before I do anything, I'm just going to write the word divide so that my brain processes, I already know the total and I'm looking for one of the parts. Okay, so here's what I know. She already read 90 pages. Now I'm ready to set up my problem. She read 90 pages and I know she can read 2 1/4 pages every minute. So if I know the pages and I know what she can read per minute, I am looking for how many minutes she read. So this is a division problem because I already know the total. If you know the total, divide. If you need the total, multiply. Okay? All right, this is a division problem. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to change this to improper. I'm not changing the action yet because I'm just making this improper. So 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9/4. Now I'm ready to change the action. So I copy the first number, I change division to multiply, and I do the multiplicative inverse. I am multiplying by the multiplicative inverse. And I can put this 90 over 1, and then I can totally do some cross simplifying here. I can divide by 9, divide by 9. And now what I have is 40 over 1. Now, these are application questions. So you need to relate the question, your answer back to the question. This question said, how many minutes did she read? So what did we just find? We just found 40 minutes. Some people like to put them in complete sentences. I love that. That's wonderful. At the very least, you need to put a label on all of your answers. Don't ever just write a number on these application problems. 40 what? Was it 40 pages? Was it 40 years? Was it $40? No, it was 40 minutes. Okay, so the trickiest part on these problems, the thing you have to do first is you have to decide, should I multiply or should I divide? I'm going to jump to another one. I'm going to jump to number 4. Should I do number 4? Actually, I'm going to jump to number 8. Okay, number 8 says, Julia is making brownies. Yeah. The original recipe calls for 3/4 cup of cocoa powder. Julia wants to make 2/3 of the recipe. How much cocoa powder should she use? So the question I want you to ask yourself is, do you know the total or do you need the total? Let's go back to the question. How much cocoa powder should she use? That sounds to me like I am looking for a total. So in all of these boxes, you should write either multiply or divide first to let your brain process which one you're doing. I know the total, so I'm going to divide. Or I need the total, so I'm going to multiply. Okay, let your brain process it. All right, now that I know this is a multiplication question, now I can set it up. The original recipe calls for 3/4 of a cup. She wants to make 2/3 of it. This is just like all that recipe work we did last Friday. Oh, I'm ready to go here. Look at this. I can simplify a lot. Divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 2, divide by 2, multiply across. Now relate this back to the question. What was this? How much cocoa powder she should use? 1/2 cup cocoa powder. The trickiest part of these problems is deciding, should you multiply or should you divide? Okay, I'm going to do one more question with you since I'm here and we're doing this. Let's see. I'm going to do number 7. Okay, number 7. Actually, you know what? Let's go to 1 on the back. Should we go to 1 on the back? How about just deciding here? Let's do question number 10. 10? Actually, I want to do one with decimals. I just keep changing my mind. Yeah, I'm going to go back to number 7. Number 7 says, Simon uses 11 gallons of water while taking a 10-minute shower. What is Simon's rate of water use in gallons per minute? Okay, so ask yourself here we are, number 7. Ask yourself, do I know the total or do I need the total? On number 7, Simon uses 11 gallons of water while taking a 10-minute shower. Do we know the total? Yeah, we do. We know how much total water he uses. We know the total, therefore number 7 is a divide problem. Divide. It is, what is Simon's rate of water use in gallons per minute? That is a hint to me that I should do gallons divided by minutes. Now, is it okay if you use a calculator on some of these problems? Yeah, and a lot of the ones with bigger decimals, I definitely use calculators on. A lot of the ones with fractions, I like to do by hand because it's fun for me to cross-simplify stuff. Something like this, you might just know. 11 divided by 10, you could type it in a calculator if you need to, but it's just 1.1. So what did we just find out? What is Simon's rate of water use in gallons per minute? It is 1.1 gallons per minute. It's really not too bad. You could maybe speed it up a little and use less water. Okay, your job now is to finish these 16 problems. Remember, decide first, should I multiply or should I divide? Make that decision first, set up and solve your problem, and then when you get all 16 of these done, you're gonna take a picture of your excellent work, 2 pictures, in fact, one of the front and one of the back, and submit that so that I can see all of the great work that you did, because we are trying to get ready for a test on multiplying and dividing. Of course, please let me know if you have any questions, and you guys can do it.